Traveler. I don't know there's a card. So.
That is Steve got this. Steve, is this the thing that you got in the mail? I love those. Hello. Did you want me to bring everything? Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you need any help?
Sorry, I want to work on this block and not swing. I want to work on the block and not swing this week. Maybe him more long. You don't have my
I'll have what? Say what? No, I don't. I got a couple hanging out in the world right now. because of the look of the paddle.
Yeah.
The new SLK looks like something that came out of a Porsche. I know. But it's carbon fiber paddle, and then
My Mach 6. So
Good.
I like the long.
Let's double it out, right?
there's another kind of magnet I want to hit.
And then it's got this really nice brown leather handle at the bottom of it. I hate to ruin it, but it's just one of those ones. This looks really nice.
Yeah. Okay, my knees
I got a guy for that. Well, his words are, I can fix that with titanium and plastic. Where's the
Does it hurt all the time or just when you bend it?
It just decides to hurt. It seems like the bill. Right in my teeth. Right in my teeth.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Oh, no, yes.
I figured we were all worked out.
Okay. They're right at the bottom of my legs. They're not my legs. They're at the bottom of my legs. Oh, they're
Oh, really? Oh, they're big. I went from Naples to Orlando.
2 minutes!
Do they know to come to the back door? Make sure you sign Bill's card. Okay, Cynthia, did you sign it? Bill. Steve, are these the box of chocolates that you were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, there's no chocolates, I keep those. Those weren't real roses, they were rose, no, they're rose soaps. So everybody can have a rose soap.
Those are pretty.
Rose soap.
You know us guys, we use rose soap all the time.
It's so rosy.
Yeah, when you're back.
Teresa's all over the place. She's been going for a couple of years. Squirrel. All right, so housekeeping for a moment. We are expecting the folks from Warm to be here. Through the course of this, we raised close to $1,000, so we just rounded it off to $1,000 that we're going to give Warm. They should be here, and it's all because of Teresa and you guys.
Yay, Tree!
Free content for the channel and things like that, but the main thing is, you know, when I was at the tournament, and every tournament I've been at, and the other day, those of you that were there, it just reminded me that, like I said the first week, that this is one of the few things with everything that's going on that it's such a good group of people. You know, we played with a guy at the tournament, 87 years old. He's out there playing pickleball, and you've got the young kids were coming in, you know, watching. You know, the sport has become more than just, you know, tournaments and sport. It has been a way that different groups of people come together, and it's, for me, that's the reason why that in my retirement now, I'm going to be doing this more. There's so many other sports, and all of you that have been involved in other ones, it seems like the percentage of, you know, not as nice people, you know, the a-hole factor is much larger in a lot of other sports. I just don't see it in this sport, and that's why, you know, I love it. So that's part of the deal. Tournament. This is about tournaments. I purposely didn't say a lot this morning when everybody got here, but the first thing I wanted to go over is when you get to a tournament, generally, what happened this morning and what happens every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm using Tuesday and Thursday as my baseline, is what happens at a tournament. You get about 5 minutes to, quote, warm up. And one of the things that happens in this group, and with every group that you get to, is how do you actually warm up? Out of this group, 2 people make sure they come in and they stretch. Most everybody else uses their first game as a warm-up.
Right.
I do. When I come here, I generally don't go off in the corner and stretch. You know, I generally will play through that first game until I warm and get a little sweat up, and then all of a sudden I'm ready to play. At a tournament, you don't have that luxury. At a tournament, you have to have a plan getting there. And that plan should start with looking at, for those of us that are really, I hate to say A-type personanals, I look at who I'm playing. And I know that Leslie does too. She's helping me today. We had a tournament a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't post who we were playing.
Oh.
And I could tell she was in the same spot I was, in that I want to know who I'm playing. I look up, well, I don't think ratings mean a lot. I look up their rating. You know, I tend to look up, I'll put in Leslie Green, pickleball, and see if I can find where they've played, you know, and see if there's any videos of them. Because preparation for your opponent is as important as preparation for yourself. So if you do start to get in tournaments and you're playing against people that you don't know, the more information you can get about them, the better off and the better chance you're going to have. And that does start with getting warmed up. The other thing at a tournament that you run into is you could play that first game and congratulations, you won your first game. So you were at this point in the bracket. Now all of a sudden, there's 87 other games that have to happen before your second game. So what are you going to do now for the next 2.5 hours? Because this tournament could go until what time this week?
11 p.m.
Your first game was at?
Well, that was 2. So one was 8 to 5, another was 11 to 7.
So you could be 9 or 10 hours and play anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 games, matches, and you can have a 2-hour, 3-hour delay in between there. So again, keeping yourself mentally and physically ready for that next game so that you're not warming up that first game of that match. If you happen to get in the back draw and it's 1 game to 15 and it takes, you know, like it does me, 4 or 5 points to get warmed up, you know, I better be warmed up going out there or we're going to be down 4-1 at the beginning. And playing from behind, generally you have to play a little different. You have to take more risks. You get out of your comfort zone. So preparation is important. That's one of the things I wanted to go over this morning, not knowing what time they were going to be here. Again, Tuesday, Thursday, pickleball, rec pickleball, you can come in, you can get warmed up because it doesn't matter. If you start getting into a pattern though of before I go, and he's not here, but the other day I know that, I can't remember his name. Silver hair, beard, always plays with us.
Roger.
Roger. All right, I blanked. You know, I know Roger came and played here on Tuesday. Roger was at Lifetime working out before you guys got here and played. He was. I know he was because I was there. So, him coming in already warm, he probably had a really good day. You know, and I asked him, he says that he normally goes in and, you know, he goes over and works out before he comes over here.
No, I think it's
It
wasn't Roger. Roger played his favorite.
Okay.
I know where everyone is.
Oh, yes, Ron.
This one right here works.
Roger lives in Newark.
So,
No, that's,
Talking about Rob.
Rob's Walling.
Rob Welly.
Yeah.
Rob. It's Rob.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Talking about Rob.
Really good group here. No, like Alan. That's Rob. All right. But he was over there working out.
He wasn't like.
Talking about, that makes sense.
He works as one in Pickering.
Right. I thought I knew that.
I knew,
He
but he
works
was
at
there.
Pickerington, but he
Right,
goes
right.
Yeah,
He was
right.
there. He worked out.
Anyway, being prepared for that very first game properly makes a difference. It can make the difference between having to go through the back draw because you lost the first game and being in the front draw and going forward. So it's something that you guys have to decide on your own is what is my pre-workout routine? What is my pre-game routine? You know, and knowing that on a Tuesday and Thursday, that generally everybody just wants to play. So I'm not going to say, hey, I need a half hour before I can play because I'm going to go do this whole routine. It's thinking about how you're approaching every aspect. Your practice, your rec play, and your tournament play are three distinct modes that you need to get into. So I'm not going to come in here and tell Teresa I'm not ready to start because I need another 15 minutes. You know, I will play through that first game and get warmed up. But at a tournament, I also have to find a place to do it. Because at a tournament, generally, there is not going to be very much of an open court to go do any type of a routine. You're going to get that 5 or 6 minutes, you know, sometimes maybe 10 to warm up. You know, you and your partner, as we roll into what we'll talk about later today, communication, you guys have to know before you get there, not only what you're going to wear, all right, for those of you that's important too. Yeah, you got to match sometimes. I don't know, they did not.
You want me to go to the front room?
No, that's fine. No, they're not there. You can see through there. But how are you going to warm up? You know, are we stacking? What is our plan, you know, at the beginning? For me, it is, especially if I have not played against somebody, we're going to pick somebody to go after. The other thing is, during that official warm-up time, so it's your match, it's your court, you've now got your 10 minutes. I'm only going to use 4 or 5 of those to actually hit and warm up. I'm generally going to take my partner off to the side and I'm going to watch Jim and Leslie warm up. Because I'm also now going to get some sense of what they're doing and how they play during their warm-up. That may be my only insight into them. You know, and I think that makes a difference. Because if I'm waiting till I'm playing against them to see how they play, again, I may be 4 or 5 points down before I realize that they're bangers. You know? Or one guy is so much better than the other person. You can kind of tell by watching how they warm up, you know, who struggles with, even with the backhand dink, or who, you know, the guys that are doing nothing but warming up from back here, guess what? I'm pretty much figured out that they're going to be, you know, banger type players. So those little things will make a difference as you're going through. And it may only make 1 or 2 point difference. But 1 or 2 points can make the difference between moving on to the next rounds and going and sitting and having a margarita.
So what I'm hearing is communication is so important to have with your partner, even before you sign up with that
Yep.
person, because everyone's different. I've had a partner before that said, I don't warm up, and he came late to the Arnold tournament and left me just there warming up with everybody, and no partner, and worry, and like, do I have a partner? And then here he shows up at the last minute. Because he just doesn't warm up. So you don't say, will you be my partner, until you talk over
Right.
what does a good partner look like.
Right. And after a while, you get into a situation where, and again, that's one of the reasons I invited Leslie here. She's played a lot of tournaments, even just in the last 6 months, where she's picked up a partner. It's,
Yeah.
she calls them blind
Don't know
dates.
anything at all. Nothing.
Oh, well, I mean, basically, I tried to think of 4 words, and he's actually said the communication, but just being positive, and just, you've got to constantly be evaluating, and then reevaluating. I mean, he's saying everything that, that I was going to say, but, yeah, the blind dates, you have to investigate them first, so you can also, you can look at different duper scores, kind of look up matches, and see, is this for somebody you really want to play with or not?
If you get in a situation where you do have an opportunity, because I mean, I've got several times where I knew that I was going to be in a particular area, and there was a tournament going on. I put with some of their players needing a partner, and even from it's all communication. In fact, from the first email that you got, you can kind of tell the tone of who that is, and then the phone call is, you can hear on the phone kind of how that person is and whether you think they're going to be a good match or not. But sometimes it's also, the thing I said last week is you have to be willing to lose to get better. Sometimes that's just the way it is. You and a partner may not mesh and you may lose. The big thing I want to talk about today is the only way you lose a tournament is if you do not learn something about your game. You and your partner don't learn something about each other. It doesn't matter if you go out and play and lose 11-0, 11-0, 11-0, 11-0. As long as you learn something. I tell my track kids, you're only racing against yourself. Day one, we run the same events, we time them. The last meet of the year, if your time didn't get better, I didn't do my job. If your time didn't get better, you didn't do your job. So you have to go into the tournament hoping to win, but expecting to learn something about your game, you and your partner's game, on how you can do better. And if you go into every tournament expecting to win, you're going to be disappointed. Because there are really good pickleball players out there. There are, quote, sandbaggers. There are people, you go out there to, I'm a 3-5 right now, right? And you go out there and you go, that person is definitely just not a 3-5. I mean, you can just tell, and they're winning everything, zip, zip, zip. They'll move up eventually. But in that case, you've got to learn something about your game, which is going to lead us into our first drill. All right? The first thing for this week that I noticed about this group is this. I need a paddle. I need a paddle. All right, and this is what we're going to work on first. We talked about getting to the kitchen, starting way back, moving forward. Here's something that I see a lot of. I see a lot of serve, and I'm going to hit you if you don't move over. There you go. I see a lot of this on both sides of the ball. Serve and a step or two forward. All right? Now where am I? I'm past the baseline. I'm almost in no man's land in that intermediate area. All right? And then I see a lot of people that are really good at a half volley right here. All right? Because the return, all right, we're going to work on both things at the same time. The return should be as deep as I possibly can get it, because I want to do what? I want to keep it back, and I want to get to the line. So the best way to do that is a deep return, if I notice that, if I'm the server, and Don's, this is about communication too, all right? Don's serving, all right? And I'm the second player, and I start here. All right, I see that a lot.
Yeah.
The only time that I'm going to return a serve, not in the middle, is if I see this. If I see someone even on this line, I'm going to take my return and put it as close as I can to their feet. And generally, if I'm on my feet right here, the only thing I can do is, again, that half volley. All right, and I think it's Alan. You've got a great, we talk about it. He's got a great little half volley. So boom. Right? Yeah, and that ball comes off dead straight and forward. But he's actually not controlling it. Being back here, I've got a chance to then actually make a full, I hate to call it a tennis swing, but it's a full swing on the ball and put it where I want to. If I'm up here, it's generally defense. You know, if it's defense, I'm not scoring. So partners need to communicate. If you're getting ready to serve, you've got technically 10 seconds to serve. You know, referee calls the score, you know, 4-5-1. If you don't, as a server, look at your partner, it's just as much your fault. Because you're in, your mind's in the game. You know, I'm going to want to get to the kitchen. You know, I'm sneaking. All of a sudden, the return, because they saw me, comes right at my feet, or worst case, it's going to hit the line. I've got to back all the way up and then try to do something with it. And generally, doing something means I'm just smacking it, and whatever happens, happens. I may get lucky. It's tough to put a ball in the kitchen when you're backing up. So, as a server and the non-server, start behind the line. As partners, communicate. Hey, Bill, back up. No, back up.
So do you want your partner, if she's serving, you want to be as far back as she is? Or
Just behind the line. Just behind the line. You know, the other thing that we talked about, I went blank on your question. When do we stay together? All right? We stay together when we are together. Until we're together, we don't have to stay together. All right? But server, I'm back here with her, so we are together. All right? So we're going to stay together until that return. All right? And I'm going to go over to the other side, and we're going to talk about the return, and we're going to play points like this. All right? I want to be with her as far back as this until I see them hit. All right? The other thing that a good deep serve will do for you is give you time. You know, it's great that once or twice a game you can hit that little one, hit the corner over there, and it's a winner. Okay, great. That's, again, you beat me at that point. But generally, if I can serve deep, the distance from back there to here gives us time as partners to know where that ball's going and who's going to take it. Who's going to collar you the earliest. So even if it's coming right here on this line, if I think it's my ball, I'm going to say me. As soon as I say me, she should be gone. Hang on, just leave it there. Scam like me, should I answer? Probably for my cardboard. So as soon as I say me, she's got to go. All right? And then once she's up there, I don't have to worry about her anymore. No, you're going to find that generally if you play with me in a tournament, what I'm going to tell you is if it's coming to me, my first ball is a hard ball up the middle. Because I want you to have a chance, if Don's up there, to take the next one out of the air and put the point away. I want the point over as quick as possible. So, server, partner, start together, stay behind the line. When you serve, if you find yourself really comfortable serving with a full step, guess what? Just step back, right? And learn to serve a little here. So your final serve should be, you know, if you're on the line, that's still a tough spot. You need to be a little bit behind the line until that ball starts to come back. then one of you should be back, and one of you should be moving almost immediately. Yes, sir?
It seems to me that every time I get my partner and myself to rush the line, I'm suddenly playing the best lobbers on the court. You know
Guess what?
I mean? We get there, sails over our head.
How many times should a lob beat you? Once. Right? If I know, again, if I'm going to pick on, if I'm playing those two, now, I may adjust my game, and that's what I sent out last night. If those of you who saw the Facebook quote last night is, if you keep playing exactly the same way, I'm going to beat you. Because I know what you're going to do. You know, if I'm going to start playing against Mike and Carol, I know that I'm going to tell my partner, no, Carol likes to hit the ground stroke across the middle. It's a good shot. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Until Carol beats me down the line more than once, I'm going to cheat because that ball is going to come from there, down here, and I'm going to do something with it. That goes right back to communication and knowing who you're playing against. If I know that it's Pat, you know, I know two things about Pat. All right? God bless her. Pat is not going to get to that line in the first ball. All right? So I may drop a ball short. You know, I hate to take advantage of it, but in a tournament, I am taking advantage of you. If I notice you're not the person moving up, I'm going to drop the balls up there and see if you can get to them. All right? If I know that they're a lobber and they beat me once, then we're going to start communicating. Say, hey, guess what? I'm still going to rush if I'm the non-server, but stay back and watch for that lob. So at that point, my adjustment is not coming here. And my adjustment may be coming over here because my partner's going to hang back just a little bit. This is all about communication and adjustment. Right? And you have to learn who that person is on the other side of the net. And a lot of times, again, this is a small court. There are lots of people that have a really great individual one shot. Right? Pat has a really good lob. Carol has a really good ground stroke. Jim has a great spin back there. Right? I know that about all you guys. Right? I have to defend against those and make you do something different. Right? As long as you keep doing the exact same thing, I want you to. I want Jim to keep hitting that shot. Because when he hits it, he tends to stay back here because he expects that shot to be a winner more than 50% of the time. So I may start to cheat knowing that little cut shot's coming. All right? And when my brain says not to put my extra spin on it, I use his spin against it. All right? And again, you will not get every single one. The lobbers may get you a couple of points. But if you start to think about, what do I have to do to adjust for this lobber? One of the things you have to do is make sure they are getting it in. You know, that lob is a really hard shot. These are short courts. It's hard to get it over top of his head and in. All right? We're going to talk later about letting balls go. All right? The bane of my existence is it's right here. You know, that's where my best shot is. But, you know, it would have been in the wall. So I definitely would have won that point if I didn't hit the ball. So making those adjustments. All right, our first reel, yes ma'am. You're supposed to communicate. All right, now again, who am I playing against? You know, if it does have to be me and Pat, all right, Pat's not going to get back there. I'm picking on Pat a little bit. But if my partner is not as mobile that day, and Leslie will tell you that at the end of our tournament several weeks ago, I wasn't moving real well. Right? Normally, I'm the guy going back to the lobs, but if I'm tired, if I'm not moving well, if my partner is not 100%.
I'm interrupting you because that's key too, communication. Because you didn't say at first that you weren't feeling well, and then you did, and then you again have to adjust.
That is what happened. I'm trying to gut it out because I wanted to play. The first time we really played together. You know, the first couple of games were not hard because there's some people there that thought they were 3-5s, and they weren't. It was the first tournament. And then we got up against Dolores and Morale, and they are good, steady 3-5 plus players. You know, it was a game. We had to adjust. They beat us the second game. We had to play 3 against them. And then the last match that we played, I really was done. I mean, my leg was hurting. So we did have, well, I finally did communicate and told her, and she took probably 80% of the last match, she probably took 80% of the balls. You know, so if you're in this position where something's happened your partner's not good at, and it could be going after the lob. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, Dawn's tall, she loved to hit that overhead. There's nothing wrong with me going, yours. You know, as long as she knows that's going to happen beforehand. You know, and that comes down to communicating and knowing who your partner is. And that's what today's supposed to be about. Is you have to know we are one player. We're not two players. We're our team. This is it's nice. Singles is fun, but this is a team sport, and it's really a two-person sport. So you have to know what your partner's good at, what's going on with them, when they're getting in their brain. You know, I had to walk Mila out of the court once because she was so mad. We hit a ball and it grazed the top, and the people took it out there, and she's like, "We stopped." She goes, "Sorry, that's in play. It's in play here down in Kentucky." Oh, she's pissed. I mean, if you guys know Mila, I mean, she's ready to fight. I had to walk her out the door. And I knew for the next 3 or 4 points, she was still going to be mad. Right. So you've got to be together in sync with your partner to go through that. All right? Going back to this exercise, returns. All right? Now we're on the outside. They're serving over there. The only thing I want to do on my return is keep both of those people back as far as possible. So generally you're going to find at the beginning of matches that my return is going to be as deep as possible at that tee. How many times have we all watched that ball hit? Now, first of all, I'm up here too far. They hit a great shot dead in the middle. I look at her, she looks at me, and the ball bounces 3 more times. All right? No communication of who's taking the middle ball. Generally, it's going to be, all right, if we get a righty and lefty, it's going to be the forehand. All right? Lefty, it makes it easier because we can know, lefty-righty, we can know that we both are in our forehands. Generally, you can tell your partner, hey, if it's on the line or close, it's yours. I'm moving forward as soon as possible to be up here. That return should be until I figure out my team, the team I'm playing against, dead center, as deep back as possible, right? And you'll see who's communicating as a team and who's not. Because there'll be a lot of confusion. There'll be a lot of hit paddles together. There'll be a lot of, I'm sorry. You know, my big thing is I'll go over and I'll start to swing and I'll see him come out and then I'll stop. Right? So using that against your opponent becomes a weapon. You're not hitting that ball back there. You just put it there and make them have to make a mistake. If both of them are waiting to see who's going to hit it, what are they not doing? They're not getting up to the kitchen line. All right, so if Dawn knows I'm going to hit it, she's already at the kitchen line. That ball's deep enough after I hit it, I'm at the kitchen line. Now both of them are still back because they didn't know who was going to take that ball. They either got to drop it in the kitchen or they got to be ready for the onslaught of us trying to keep them back there. All right, so for the first drill, that's what I want to do. This is partner up. Partner up. Let's go.
Are we still partners? You still having me?
All right, I got some good feedback. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to do these.
Oh, no.
Got a partner?
I'll be your partner.
I need a partner.
Hang on.
I need a partner.
We're gonna do these as time exercises, so everybody gets the same amount of time. So here's what both partners have to get. All right. Somebody jump in. You guys have it. What? You got two. All right, and then we got to wait. we're gonna do this time.
For the team today.
Hey!
All right. Good.
We're gonna do this time exercise. And then folks that aren't in will jump in and do it as well. I would like when you're not in, like we did last week, is to be kind of at the net and kind of help communicate with the people on there. I'm reminding them, you're not at the line, because our coach literally should be close to being illegal. If you've got, you know, I mean, I'm talking, you need to be as close to illegal as possible. Because every game you give up makes it hard to get that angle. So if you're not in, help the people that are. The drill is serve, return, play the point, out. All right, you want to play the point out and then start over with the second person serving. And just continue to round off it out. Every point, a new server. The server and their partner are trying to stay behind the line. The returners are trying to communicate, get the non-returning person to the line, and get the return ball center point. And we'll see who listens and who's going to say line, the person gets up here. So deep serve, deep return, go and get center. That's the drill. Everybody got that? You got it? All right?
You ready? Okay. Bottom up. That wasn't all the way up.
You know what?
That's probably better, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what you've got to communicate to your partner. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Redo it.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So what do you mean was that? If I'm the one that hit that, there's no. Al's got that on. You know, they missed it.
Bottom up. No, good return.
Careful, Mike.
Oh, shit.
Let
me redo that. Okay,
I get to the center on a serve. You can't go down long.
darn it. I need to warm up first every day.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's embarrassing.
That's why I started that game, because I used to do that all the time.
You're going to go
Well, somebody look up what that serve was.
wherever you want.
Nice. Okay.
Deep return.
Sure. It's just, we gotta say something before I serve.
Yeah. Yep.
Whoa.
Go get it, middle deep. Go get it. One more. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I wasn't ready. Go again.
I'm not going to ask you if you're ready.
Well, I need to at least be in line.
I missed that. I was loving her.
It doesn't matter. You're exactly right. Probably should wait. It doesn't matter how you hit it. If you guys are talking beforehand, say, hey,
Sorry.
help me out with
I gotta get my club better. I said left
Put it.
You almost say go or what? No, I almost say me. I know you got it. Well, whatever.
It's fun. I know. But most times, the last time I played, just was to play single. I just play this thing. But wow.
We're not complaining that much about you in there.
Yeah, no.
Way back here.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I just forgot about this. Not really into
As soon as I did it, I'm going, I forgot the hop to that.
Yeah, true.
Anyway.
True. Okay, here we go.
It's so funny. I need to learn this part. When the man is saying no or something, I swear not it again.
The folks that, hey, listen up, the folks that are not playing, one get on one baseline, the other on the other one. And as soon as that ball comes back on the return serve, I want them to say, go. Because we're still lagging and waiting. And you should be moving.
Don't serve wide.
As soon as the ball, when we talked last week about not playing here.
She served.
All right, we're playing here. If I see him make a serve that draws it to her, when a ball comes off her paddle, I should know where that ball is going, generally. I shouldn't have to wait till he says me. If I see it coming
Right.
in this area, I'm already gone. The quicker I'm here, the better off I am. That's going to be our brain set, is we want to play the whole court. We want to see where they're standing. If I see Teresa's slow to get off the line, I'm going to adjust my middle shot and start going at her. So play out here, not in your own spot.
Out here. What's the name? Yeah, I don't know what it means. Oh, very good. Yeah, very good. In the kitchen, very good.
Belly goes and foot back. Okay, now get up there.
Oh!
At least we know anymore.
This is what I'm going to do for me, is get away from my partner because I know you're not taking it. Right?
Very good middle. Yeah, that one is hard.
Come with me.
You can go ahead.
Let's do it again.
Okay, return to three.
You serve that deep here, it's hard to get back.
If I know my partner is slow to one person, I'm going to cheat.
Third shot, Ron.
I
Third shot.
didn't make the whole floating wrong. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Until he can reach down.
Got it.
Whoa!
Mine wasn't deep. I did. Where are we doing? Oh, what? I don't know.
How many points do I got?
I don't know. We weren't counting.
He says doing it by time.
Oh, it's about time.
That's what he said.
Is he going to call it?
Are you going to call changes or?
Yeah, I got time going on.
Okay, he's got a timer. You're back here, Lisa. Oh, you're supposed to say go.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Wait. Go.
And that's what happens. That's what happens. If you get used to something, you change it up.
That was on purpose. That wasn't an accident.
Go.
Got it. Oh, that back. Yeah, coming to. Sorry.
I love what you now just what started doing. Started along 2 weeks ago.
Very good.
You can never use your now, eventually you know that that's where you're at.
Whoa! Kitchen power. That's called kitchen power.
The folks that are not in, the folks that are out, take someone's spot. Leslie, wait, I want to take you guys a spot real quick. Set timer for 7 minutes. Come on, Leslie.
7 minutes.
Oh, you can't play? Oh, you can't remember that.
Yeah, unless I play right now.
Can you? No, it's fine.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, deep. Oh, that wasn't deep, sir.
Might have been a little deep.
Yeah.
All right.
Deep, sir.
Heading back up though.
Yeah.
As soon as you back up, it comes out here.
I was scared.
I can't hit that hard.
Okay. Deep serve. Return.
That was great.
Got back to hard.
I gotta say words out loud.
Yours.
Oh, too deep.
Very good.
Good down, Alan.
You can get the.
Deep serve.
Don't you love it when you're carried first? You're thinking. Until they figure it out. Because if you hit it.
That was good.
Because he's so happy. So happy.
Deep serve. Return.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good again. It's good.
Well, I want to
Deep serve. Again, this time.
So happy. It's been.
Put a lot of top spin. I'm working on my top spin on the serve here.
You were trying to go over. There was a man on court.
Want to do it again? Okay.
I've served 4 times already. I'm tired.
Deep serve. Deep return. Thank you. I'm working on It was out.
Return wasn't anywhere near the center.
Deep serve.
That was good.
I was off that.
That's why I probably should have taken it. You were moving forward still. I was already there. We're back before him, my backhand, but I'm over here.
You were there.
Deep serve. All right, take your hands away from your opponent. There you go.
Oh, that was in the way.
All right, everybody pause just for a second.
Oh, that was
Just for a second.
distraction.
What happens if you hit a ball that was out? It bounces out, and then you call it out.
It's out, right?
It's out, right?
It's out, right.
Right? What happens if you don't hit a ball that you think's going out and it drops on the line?
It's in. It's in.
And hit every ball.
Get everybody.
As partners,
Oh, okay.
as partners, If it's out, call it out.
Yeah.
You know, if we just had a point
Just
over
hit
here,
it.
and literally Carol dropped exactly where I told her. It hit on this spot. Simone's right here,
She could have hit
and all she could do was say, "Great shot." Right? She hit it so
Okay,
deep
hit
that
every
if
shot.
Simone had
That
been
makes
here
sense.
and hit it, if it's in, Simone hits it. If it's out, her partner or her call it out.
But hit it anyway, right? But
Hit it anyway.
Anyway, and also be back far.
Yes, hit the ball anyway. All right, wait, not a ninja thing, a Johnny Bench thing, then I'll answer your question. All right, one of the first books I ever remember reading is growing up down in Portland with a Cincinnati Reds, Johnny Bench. All right, greatest catcher ever in my opinion, even though I grew up next to Gene Hennis. Those who are not baseball people don't know any of those. Johnny Bench was having a crappy year. All right? And at that point, you didn't have catchers that were making millions, so catchers had to warm up every pitcher. So literally before the game, he would go out there and he's warming up every pitcher. And if the ball was in the dirt or down low, he let it go. About a third of the way through the year, he realized that he was having problems with low balls during the game. Because he was practicing that way.
Right.
So practice like you're going to play, which hit every ball. Try to make a shot with every single ball. Your partner or you should know if it's out, call it out. If it happened to be in like this one and she hit it, the point's still going. The ball that you don't hit, unless it's up here, unless I'm standing here and it's here, you know, hit every ball unless you know that it's out.
Okay.
All right? Yeah.
Talking about the partner calling the out ball, if we're receiving and my partner's sitting there just staring forward, so I always watch, because that way I know if it's in.
Okay, you got one.
I don't disagree with you at all. Yeah, there's a lot of people teach you not to watch. And I'm with you, I like to watch where that ball's going to hit, because I kind of generally know where it's going to go with
watch
it.
too. Okay.
Otherwise, you don't know where to go.
You want me to get help on that ball, because that's less than left.
That's okay. See what? That's
Okay.
what he wants.
Deep serve.
Right, I agree.
Deep return.
You can't let her out. Make a call and shot. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's, see, why?
Oh, I know.
Deep return.
Oh, get up there.
Is she just serving? I know.
That's a normal Tuesday, Thursday. We're up here now. Not one ball. Down to the kitchen. All right, last point.
Somebody would have put it in the kitchen, I would have kept it there. You know, every ball was up here.
Yep.
Okay, deep serve. Oh, that's not good.
You.
That's it.
Fine.
All right, bring it down here. 7, 10, 15 minutes of doing this is not going to change your game. All right, because it does become muscle memory. It does become teammate memory. All right? Until it becomes second nature, you're always going to be thinking about it. If you have to think about it, you're going to be a second slow. So everything that we're doing, these little drills and these little snippets, you've got to be willing during Tuesday, Thursdays to try some of them. Maybe not every game, but you got to be willing to see if they start working. All right? The things that I'm telling you may not be your exact game. All right? I'm giving you some ideas of what I see have worked for me, and I see other people that beat me what they do. All right? So try it. My goal for all of this is to have you learn one or two things aside from that one shot that you're really, really good at. Because if I know you're really, really good at it, I can defend it. All right? If, like what just happened over here, and I know Janelle's name, sir, I don't know your name. Sean, I knew that. I didn't know that. They were doing the drill, and the first 2 or 3 times Mike did come up the middle, up the middle. Sean was ready for that up the middle shot. And you know what Mike did? He lobbed him. All right?
Thanks, Mike.
Right? But now, Sean's 6'3", maybe 6'4". He got back here to the lob, all right, and he hit it. But it's not a high percentage shot. From back here moving to get back to it, he happened to hit that one out. It was a good example of he wasn't expecting a lob. He was expecting it to come up the middle. You know, and if you can do that to your opponent, you're going to win a couple of extra points. You know, I don't care about winning 11-0. If I win 11-0, I'm not in the right bracket. Right? Truly, I'm not in the right bracket. I did watch the Ben Johns match last night, and he's played in the singles finals with PPA. I can't pronounce his opponent's name, but those yeah, they have played the finals, the first 3 professional matches this year, and Ben has won until yesterday. Ben won the first 6 shots. You saw Stackhouse make adjustments. He won the next 9 points, won the first game. One of the things that we'll talk about, these little snippets, right? And these little snippets will be little videos to remind you of it. Those of you who have played in tournaments, you know when it starts, generally someone picks a number, right? And then they get to either serve or side. Right? If you have played with me, you realize that I don't ever want to win that. Because generally, the person takes serve. Right? If you watch, and if you are a little bit anal like I am, and you're a little bit stat person, you will see most tournaments, there is a prevalent side. And I don't care if it is inside or outside, there is, for some reason, a side that wins more than others. You'll see games go 11-0, switch side, 0-11, switch sides, and then to cause it the 3rd game, you're switching at 6. It'll end up being an 11-6 game. I don't know why that is. In Westerville Rec Center for the Senior Olympics, they have this big white net that goes across that you can see through. It is so hard for me, you know, with a little bit of that squirrel mentality, to be playing my point and see another whole game going back there. So as much as possible, I want to be up against something that is not moving, right? Psychology-wise, it's harder for the guys because our Cro-Magnon brain thinks that something's trying to kill us, right? And we're watching the sides because that freaking saber-toothed tiger's coming at us. We got to be ready to defend it. And movement affects us more than it does the ladies. So I tend to pick, if I win the toss, win the number, I let the other place serve. They only get 1. Right? I want side as much as possible. It may be just a mental thing for me that I think there's a better side. But the number of tournaments I can tell you that I see a side. Outdoors, it's even easier to pick, right? Where's the sun? Where's the wind? Do I want to be with it or against it? For me, I want a little bit of a headwind because if I start hitting it hard, I'm going to have a little help on the ones that I hit a little too hard and they may drop in. You know, if it's behind me, then more of my balls are going out. You know, if I know that I'm the opposite, that I don't mind that little bit of tailwind to help me, then I start choosing that. That becomes part of that communication as partners of picking the side you want. I never take the first serve. Right? I only get 1. You know, I'd rather have the first 2 serves. So that's a little tidbit. On what I'm going at, what you guys are doing now is trying to get mentally into a game where you're thinking, and it's much more helpful if you have 2 people thinking, because we get mentally into it You just had that over here. You were thinking about something else, didn't know what you were doing. You know, the other little thing I'll talk about is timeouts. I think I said this in the first week. You get 2 a game, use them. You know, generally in a tournament, you get 2 per game. Don't just use them when you are frustrated. You hit a bad shot, take a timeout, or you're behind, take a timeout. Sometimes I'll take a timeout when we're up by a bunch. You know, just to take that moment of going over to talk about what we're doing well. You know, there are times I need a timeout so I can go calm myself down. I'll go over and look at the wall. But it is part of that not having consistency enough that your opponents know what's happening. You know, the expectation is only time someone's taking a timeout is when they're behind or they hit a bad shot. So if that's all you're doing and you take a timeout, I know we got them. They have to take a timeout. Right? If I take a timeout because I made a great point, that may confuse them. But right now, I just watched confusion just hit her.
You should do that.
That confused you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thank you. You're right. I'm sorry.
Oh, do you see that? The pros are doing that too? They're ahead, they take a timeout.
Not very often, but
But I agree with you.
what if they did?
That's a good move.
It was literally with, why are they taking a timeout right now? All of a sudden, I'm not thinking about the game. I'm thinking, why are they taking a timeout? Is he hurt? Is something going on? Yeah, right. You know? I just took a timeout to mess with your brain. I got 2 of them. We haven't used them yet.
A couple of weeks ago, one of the single women pros, she got the serve back and took the timeout by her. She just got the serve back, and she had, I think it was pretty close. She might have been down a point or 2. Took the timeout, came back, and won the couple of court serves.
In an even match, the team will win that does something different. All right? If you guys are evenly matched, the team that does something that goes against their normal play is what will change the game. And in a really good even match, that could be a 12-10 win, that they made something happen differently. You will see the pros, you know, switch sides. You know, right now it's working really good for me over here, and that's not my normal side. Generally, if you guys play with me on Tuesday, Thursday, I don't take the first serve. I generally want to be over here, and I don't know why. We're going to switch every point. You know, unless we're stacking, we're generally going to be switching. You know, if we're stacking, I'm always almost going to be over here. I'm really super comfortable. All right.
Do you have to switch?
Yes. You have to switch to a server too.
For the service, I know, but I mean, can you play that side the whole
You
game?
can play side the whole time.
You stack.
The only things that are mandatory is the person who serves and the person who returns. Everything else doesn't matter. You can be anywhere on the court. This is the other thing I hear a lot of. If I want to, I can stand right here.
Sure.
At any time. As long as I don't hit the ball in the air right here, I can stand here.
Or be hit by the ball.
Yeah. If there are stackers that will start here, I tend not to, and I don't know why, because it does give you advantage. I said to tell you guys to get to the line, and when I stack with my partner, I'm back here and then I run to the line.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they're stacking there when they're receiving.
Yeah.
But when you're serving, you got to stay.
But you know what.
No, you
You
don't.
have to stand back.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to, but I've never seen anybody not.
Yeah. You absolutely. I can stand up here if I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, if I've got it again, if I'm in the middle of a tournament, I want to tough it through, and my leg hurts, you know, and I got a good singles partner for my partner. Guess what?
Less running.
Let them serve and
I'm going to let them serve. I'm going to let them play a little bit of singles. I'm going to get in here and do what I can. And again, it may just affect the other team because it's something you haven't seen. Anytime you can use confusion to your advantage, it's going to get you a point or 2. All right? For the next little exercise, I want to do bangers against dinkers. All right? And what I want to do is I want the server side All right, we're going to do the same thing. We're serve, 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 serve. When you're serving, you're a banger. And every ball is hard. Okay? When you're receiving, you're a dinker. You're not allowed to hit a hard ball. Okay? So I want you, aside from your return, because I want to build on what we just did, I want the return still to try to be deep middle. But aside from the return, every other ball on the receiving side needs to be tried to drop in the kitchen.
It's going to be harder.
I don't care.
It's going to be harder.
Doesn't matter.
Bangers.
Put it in the kitchen. Okay? Yeah. Whoever's out first goes in first.
Go ahead, you guys were both times. We start out once, is that cool? And then
We're going to do it for 10
we'll
minutes.
switch sides too, it's good, yeah.
All right?
Okay.
Bangers, dinkers.
Which side is this? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay.
We're driving.
Okay.
If you're not in, you're helping the court. If you're
I'm
not in,
watching
you're helping
everything
the court.
you do.
You're telling them to stay back, you're telling them to go on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Hey, everybody wants you to start at the same time, but I want to see something for a second. First of all, who's my returner over here?
We are, you say we're the dinkers.
Right, you're thinking. All right, just as a question, are you ready to play? Who's returning? Okay. Wait. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
Take a half step forward. Right on the line. Right on the line. You're not getting penalized for touching unless you touch the ball. You were back there. Scoot yourself a little forward. Get up comfortable with that line. All right, now, here we go.
I'm hitting it deep back.
Oh, don't hit your partner.
You're not the banger.
Well, she's got to start returning.
Great job.
Go, got it.
Oh, hit the wall.
Nice, good deep one. All right.
Come on, you guys, over the tracks together.
Sorry. Thank you, sweetheart. Return deep.
No, right out there.
Back to the first return. The first return, back to that.
Why am I doing that? I was supposed to hit hard. I forgot.
That threw me off when you did
I know. See, it was confusing.
Are you the banger?
No, just power serving. Oh, no, they're the bangers. We're the bangers.
Right, that's what I thought.
You're right.
Okay. Okay, good try. Yeah. They're the bangers. You're
On
the
return,
dinkers.
I'm a banger though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can hit
Yeah, deep.
Go again.
I think you're ready to run before you hit the ball.
Alright, I'm comfortable here.
Could be.
Okay, you guys are the bangers, right?
Okay, yeah, bangers, ready?
Bang.
You come up. Oh, shit.
Oh.
I got you guys.
You can take something all day. Lisa, take it.
Lisa, step up. Up.
I'm nice.
Like, buddy, go to the ball. Ready?
Yep.
I like a
Dialed.
Bangers when we see them. Okay, down.
Now we are.
Yeah, you're dinkers.
Hey.
Wow.
lost show. I mean, lost show. Okay.
Okay, dinkers.
Who's serving?
All right, hang on. Add adjustment to it. I want us to keep score.
Keep score. Okay.
All right?
We're keeping score.
Same thing. Servers, bangers, returners are dinkers. But I want us to keep score for the next 7 to 10 minutes.
Once we're all dinking up here, should we be dinking up here, or should the bangers still be
The
trying to bang?
bangers should be banging the whole time.
The whole time, even at
The
the
whole time.
Okay.
Bangers should be banging.
Yeah. Okay, we're taking a time out.
Dinker should be dinker.
Okay, ready? Yeah. Okay, are you ready?
Zeros. Bangers.
Okay, my turn.
I got it.
Oh, it's out. That's one.
So, if it was 4, you would play.
That's one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. 1-0. 1-0. Start. Ready?
Yep.
1-0. Start.
Got it.
Okay. 2.
Ask one favor. Come down.
Servers of the thing.
Go get the back of the net.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got the back of mine earlier too.
Okay.
Okay. 2-0. Start. You ready? Yes. Oh no, I wasn't ready.
Okay, their serve.
Your serve. Okay. Oh yeah, you.
They have 2 over here.
Okay. Now we're deep.
Out.
I thought it caught the back. Okay. I'll take it over.
Nice.
Double pink.
Look at us wanting to dink so badly.
Okay, ready?
Okay, 2, 1, 1. Here.
Mine.
Go, go.
Nice.
Nice.
That wasn't a banger, though.
I was supposed to be a dinker.
No, it was past you, so
I thought it was a dinker. Okay.
you're bangers.
Yes. 3-1.
3-1-1. I got it. Go.
Oh.
Watch out, Leslie.
3-1-2. Thank you. 3-1-2. Got it.
Oh, good try. Good try. Yeah, she was a dinker.
Yeah, I was like, that didn't feel like a dink.
The banger.
3-1-2. Got it.
Go.
I couldn't bang harder than that with your head there. Oh, that's mine too.
No, get off my head.
Oh, it did hit off your head. Oh,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
move up. Move
Okay.
up.
I will.
And dink.
Now we're dinking. Yes.
Okay, Natalie, closer to the line. Okay, you got it.
1-2.
Okay, dink. No, I'm talking to them.
Come on, Lisa.
Hold on, hold on. You guys don't play this normally.
Time out. We're dinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this
Right
drill.
now.
For right now.
Right now, hang on just a second, guys. Watching your opponent, this is a perfect example. I have, on this side, I've got righty-righty, right? Forehands in the middle. Right? If I'm playing against these two right now and they're not stacking, because I
Right.
have righty-lefty, I'm saying forehand, I've got backhands in the middle.
Yep.
Every single ball is going to go in the middle because generally it is both of their worst shot. And generally it's a shot they're most uncomfortable with, and both of them are in the middle.
Right.
So if I'm playing with a lefty, I'm almost always going to stack, I'm almost always going to switch, so that then we both have forehands in the middle. And I can't be taken advantage of. So that's what I would advise you guys, if you guys can play together. Learn to, we'll talk about stacking, we'll have some fun stuff in a minute, but learn to stack so that my best shot is where the biggest amount of court gets covered. Alright? So if I was you guys, I'd pick on their middle until they decide to switch.
Okay, dinkers. You're dinkers.
Thank you.
Okay.
No.
I know it was. I'm just
Yes,
telling you.
try.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't kill it. I killed it.
Right, right. Good job, good job. Way to take it off. Okay, your bangers. Lisa, closer to the line. Lisa.
I was right closer.
4-1.
Wait a minute. Ew, got it.
Go. Banger.
That's a ding.
But we're supposed to be bangers. You're bangers. Damn it. I'll try to say what you are.
Is this bangers? We're bangers. 4-1-2.
You're bangers.
Bangers. 4-1-2.
Go. Bang. Go. Yes.
Beautiful flashlights next up. Okay, bangers. 5-1. Yep. Ready? I'm out. Okay, I like it. 5-1-2.
Go.
Bang it.
Yes.
Good try.
Now we're deepers.
Yes. Fingers.
Yes, you're supposed to dig, but they give you a lollipop, you gotta pay for it, right?
Dinkers. You're dinkers.
That wasn't a try, that was.
Ready? 3, 5, 6. 5. Ready? 5-1.
Got it. Go. Got it.
Go.
Yeah. Who served?
That's me. Thank you.
You're bangers. Bangers.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Next one. Go. Oh, that was distracting.
I'll take it.
6-1-2.
Okay, there we go. We're bangers. Yep.
Oh, Alan. I mean, not Alan. Yeah, cheers. Okay, 6-1-2. Your bangers.
How far over, babe?
I know, that was fine.
Okay, your dinkers.
All right, shut down.
Natalie, closer. Okay.
No. One more shutdown. Thank you. You're a very good sponsor. Sorry, Lisa.
Your dinkers. Okay, your bangers.
Okay, 7. We go out. Don't we?
6.
Oh, okay. All right, you shut down.
Your bangers. Oh, nice.
That's okay. We were bangers.
Yeah, you're bangers. You're still bangers.
Can we stop at 7, Bill?
No, 7 minutes.
Oh, 7 minutes. Okay.
7-1-1.
I got it. Bangers. Go.
Ian, that was a good ding. Nice shot, Lisa. Okay, Paul.
7-1.
Your bangers.
7-1-1.
Go. Lisa, a little closer.
Here we go.
Ready? Still bangers.
Ready? Yeah, sorry. I got it.
Nice.
What? 11?
I don't know. You're still
All right,
bangers.
last point, we're gonna quit.
I won.
Oh, wow.
Bang. Okay. Good job.
We're out.
That's good.
Well, at least we know where our strength is. It was always raining.
You didn't know
We
that.
didn't get a lot of opportunities. No. That's so short. That's true. Right?
Line increases.
Well, did you guys play twice? I feel like it's fair. One was good after. Yeah, there was a time when that guy, the first ones that were out. Okay. We are going to be bangers. We're bangers right now.
Just start out keeping score.
Yep.
0-2.
right, then we'll switch.
Come on. We're bangers.
Yeah.
1-0-2.
Somebody's watching that line, right?
Me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's there. You put it there.
Yeah, look where you were though too.
I had to stop.
No, keep going.
Okay.
He had you, she had you. Hey, stop.
Why didn't you hit me with it?
Because, I don't know. Because I knew something strange was going on.
Go ahead.
What's our score? 1-0.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good court.
Coming, Mike.
We're bangers over here.
Okay, try my stop. Prime. Good. 1-2.
We're still bangers.
Yeah, you gotta bang it too.
We're the bangers, you're the dinkers.
Okay. You're the digger.
Okay. We are dinkers.
You guys would actually try to...
You're stopping before that red every time.
I would have digged...
Okay, we're...
Get to that green. See what happens. Keep going.
I have to stop when she hits the ball.
Yes.
Why?
You don't want to be running through.
I take that out of the air.
No. See, but if you're running like this and hit the ball, you have no control. As soon as they start to swing, you stop.
He's not telling us to stop. He's telling us to go to the green line.
I know that. And I talked to him about it, and he agreed with me, but I don't know why it's not keeping it.
Well, I mean, the point is if he's telling us to do that, we're supposed to do it.
We've always done that, because we've gone to enough clinics, and they teach you that every clinic you
Well, then
get.
he'll have to tell me that. We'll keep saying it to her.
Now let it back.
Yeah, let me hit it.
That's just it's the same in tennis. You stop.
Yeah, but that's because when it's longer and you want to get in your position and get ready. Great idea.
She was paying attention, so I wanted to see if they're paying attention.
I'm not.
You're playing here.
I know.
All right.
Okay, let's see. I don't know the score. 1-0. Bangers.
You.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, 1-2. Me. I can't do that. If it's the right shot, I can do it, but that's not the right shot.
Okay. We are dinkers over here. Oh, you got That's all you got time. You did so many times. I'm a slow learner.
Bangers.
I'm a slow learner.
Oh, come on.
We've already started. 1 minute, Steve. Here I go back. Okay, 1-0. We are bangers.
I said you.
He said you, but it wasn't me. Okay.
But if he's hit you, it is you.
I know.
It was going towards us.
At the same time, you guys moved in so fast without seeing how deep the return was.
Take the ball.
Well, as soon as I called you, I started moving in.
Yeah, but you guys moved fast.
I was playing somebody the other day in the league. It's like she'd serve and go that far forward.
Yeah, I think I tend to do that too.
You.
There you go, nice.
So you said you couldn't walk.
Okay.
should just return the service at dink even. And then we'll remember.
We are something too.
You can't bang from here.
We are tinkers. What you say? The coffee is.
You're back. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is exactly, especially when they want to come back to the third ball. Is the more you can do with that ball to get it down to take away that second.
That's what I do every time I bang.
We're saying,
And we're still tinkers.
oh!
Nice. We're on the line is not good though.
Oh, thanks. We're bangers.
You.
Keep going, keep going. Go up, go up, go up. Take the net. Go, go.
Oh, here's the bangers.
That's good.
Oh, I don't know what we are. Keep telling me, Natalie, what we are. Are we done?
Coming to you, Bill.
Is our time up?
No, he's supposed to do one more point.
Last point, let's see who wins it.
Come, jump in over here. I'll hit one.
Okay. We are bangers.
Nice deep ball.
Serve it again. Good ball right in the middle. Good ball.
Are we finished?
All right, come over here.
Bring it down there, yellow.
Over here, everyone.
I want to try it.
All right. One word about that particular exercise.
One word?
Yeah.
Dementia.
Revealing.
I don't know. Confusion.
Difficult.
Yeah, confusion.
Okay.
Thoughtless.
One of the reasons I wanted that to happen, have you change every time, is we do get into what we're comfortable with. You know, if we're bangers, we want to bang the whole time. You know, if we're dinkers, we tend to want to dink the whole time. If you want to move up a level, you've got to learn how to do both. You know, and it's not, every one of you have the shots because, again, I've seen all of you dink, I've seen all of you bang. All right, the majority, I would say, bang. I would rather have a partner that is a little better dinker than banger. All right, because if you can get to where you can take that game away, it is easier for a dinker to win if they can take that banger game away. It's much harder for the majority of this group to switch into short game mode.
Yes.
And until you switch into short game mode, you're going to be stuck right where you're at. All right? Which is still fun. All right? I mean, believe me, it's fun to hit the ball hard. You know, especially when you've got other things going on, you just want your mind off of it. You know, I just want to hit the ball hard. When you get to tournament mode and you can't stop the person hitting it hard, you're going to lose. Me and Morale found that out Saturday.
I just wanted to piece together two things that you said. The other thing about that drill that was nice is you knew what was coming to you. And when you talked earlier about saying identify the people that you're playing, if you put those two together, then if you target not target, but
Yes,
you
target.
play to one person the first few points, then you're kind of pulling all of that in together. You'll know what you're going to expect, right?
Right.
Know what to expect.
And until they do something different,
Yeah.
then you can start, once you realize what they're doing, until they change, you can take advantage of it.
Yeah.
All right? Generally, were you scoring when you were banging or you were dinking? I know the answer.
Dinking.
I know the real answer.
Neither.
Probably banging.
Yes.
Okay? And that's the level that generally you guys are at. Again, great. If you get out there against someone who can take control of that and play the short game, it becomes humiliating.
You were talking about you and Raleigh.
Yeah, me and Morale, was the first time, he asked me if I'd play. I probably shouldn't have. Not because of him, just because I am really, truly not in good physical shape to play 4 or 5 pickleball, and that's what we were playing. We were playing 4 or 5 pickleball. I can't move where I want to against guys that are in their 30s and 40s playing 4 or 5 ball. And the very first group we went out there, one of them was absolutely a good player. I mean, better than me all day long. Could hit the ball hard, could put it where he wanted it, and we looked silly. We could not control what was coming at us. I mean, he hit the ball hard, and I mean, we all know Morale. He wants to go at the line and everything else. And every ball, because it was harder, was a foot out, not 6 inches out. It was a foot out. At that point, you've got to learn to soften your paddle and come back and get it to where you want to. And again, if you're comfortable doing a banging battle, what's the point? If you can start adjusting to where your opponent doesn't know what you're going to do, they come out there and say, oh, now they're bangers. I know how to play them. The first time those two go into a dink battle against me and drop one in the kitchen, it's going to surprise me. Then I'm going to have to do what just happened. You had to think about every single thing you did right then, and it totally messed your games up. I saw more balls hit into the net on the returns because you were trying to think about what you were doing and where I'm going to put it. Am I a banger or am I a dinker? What am I doing? No one just sit back here. What am I? If I'm back here, what am I? No, I'm not a banger.
You're
When I'm doing back here, if Alan's serving to me, I'm a returner.
A returner.
I'm a returner. What's my job?
Middle, deep.
To put the ball as deep as possible in the most advantageous place I can. At the beginning of the match, that is the middle. All right? At the beginning of a match, I don't know who I'm playing against most of the time. I don't know whether she's a banger or he's a dinker. I don't know. But I know one thing. I'm not going to lose the point if I put it deep in the middle in. That's going to give me a chance to get up here. And even if they're a banger, they're going to hit that ball from the baseline. I'm in control when I get up here. So my job was to get the ball in deep. All right? The other thing I saw a lot of, and I am guilty as everybody else is, what is my job as a server? Especially at the level that we are generally playing at in this group.
Yes.
Okay? My job is back up. What is my #1 job?
Get the ball in. Get it in.
In?
Deep.
In.
Deep.
In first.
All right?
Yeah.
Then doing
I
the
can only score, right now, generally, there are some rally scoring tournaments going on out there, but generally, 99% of the time, I can only score when I'm serving this ball.
Right.
If my serve isn't in, I'm not scoring a point. All right? What do they have to do?
Let it bounce.
They have to hit back to me, and I have to let it bounce.
Yes.
So at least for the first 2 points, I know what's supposed to happen.
Right.
My ball's supposed to go in, their ball's supposed to come back and bounce.
Yeah.
After that, all bets are off. But those of us who like to get creative with our serves, you know, again, you'll see a lot 3-0, 3-5 level, a lot of creative spin backwards, all kind of crazy serves. And every once in a while, you will see an ace. Now, when I'm over here and the guy drops in the corner, you know, especially right now, good shot. One a game, you're going to get one a game. I imagine probably that same guy is going to hit 2 or 3 out to give me a fair chance. You know, I am surprised, except for singles in the pros, as a server, they get the ball in. There's nothing fancy about it. They outlawed all the fanciness. Like a couple of years ago, they all of a sudden decided to do the chainsaw whip serves and all this other stuff. It's all gone. Your job as a server is to get the ball in. If you get comfortable being able to adjust to a backhand or a forehand, that's fine. You know, that's good movement of the ball within the box. But if you're hitting your serves out, you're not giving yourself a chance to serve. As a returner, your job on that first ball is to get it in as deep as possible to give you a chance to decide what you're doing next. If you're a banger and you're up here, you're going to win more points than if you're back there. If you're a dinker and you're up here, you're going to win more points than if you're back there. All right? So I don't care which way you play, you should be able to learn to play both ways. And once you can start to adjust your game to your opponent. You know, as a dinker, you know, and as a banger, you know, one of the hardest shots I get is the one right here because it's my favorite, you know, it's my forehand. And more often than not, that ball right here, instead of me just putting it across court and dinking it, for some reason, I hit about this net right here. I did that a lot last Saturday. When you're tired, when you're not in the physical or mental shape to be in that match, in rec play, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. But in a tournament, you gotta get to the point to where you're not thinking about what you're doing. You gotta go to the shot that you know will work. I know that if I put the ball over the net in the center of the court, they've got to do their job and hit it back. Now, I do want you to, one of the feedback I got from someone who wasn't here but watched the video was how much I talked about middle, make them make the mistakes. And they told me, he said, well, you know, you're kind of fibbing to yourself because you're a really aggressive player. You know, I do tend to go for the harder angle, hit the ball hard. You know, I love that shot down the line. You know, I tend to do that after we set up the rest of it. All right? Once you've decided that who you're playing against, you know, if I know that when she serves, that if she's serving to me over here, and I've noticed that their second player tends to want to come up to the tee, you know, I will try to go for that line with a really hard shot. You know, I may miss a couple of them, but again, if I hit 3 or 4 of them in, after I realize what's going on, there's nothing wrong with aggression. All right, that's going to lead us into our next deal. I'm trying to get you out of your comfort zone. All right, the next little tidbit after we do the warm thing, we'll get a picture, is we're going to not hit balls. We're going to not hit balls. All right? We're going to set it up to where on this side of the court, we're going to have bangers. And we're not going to serve points. We're not going to serve. We're just going to drop the ball and hit the ball hard. Over here, you've got to decide in or out. All right? There's a lot more points scored by someone hitting one that they shouldn't have than dropping it and letting it go.
If it's in or we hit it back.
That you got to decide. You've got to decide. You know, there are times that an out ball is going to be a definite winner for you. Right? It may be exactly where you want it to go, but there also has to be a time where you realize I should let that ball go. And that is one of the huge things I see, and one of the huge things I'm guilty of is, you know, I'm here, and it literally is a rocket to here. You know, and it's a great shot. I love bam, you know. But really, I took a chance because I was guaranteed a point by letting it go, and there was a percentage of me hitting it back at it. And you will be surprised the number of balls in this size court that do in fact go out. You know, and we did the bangers versus zinkers. I saw very few let them go. Again, if one great ground stroke comes across and goes in right on the line, okay, you beat me again. You got to not be afraid to lose. But if 3 of those balls I let go will go out, I'm up 3-1. That's the difference in winning and losing. Let's take a break, get some water, and give Warm some money. How about that?
And if you ordered towels and didn't pick them up yet, put them over here.
Sammy.
Hi, Sammy. Nice to meet you. This is all her fault.
How's it going, Mike?
I can't remember.
Good. Hey, Trace, do you?
Nice.
I can't remember if I did. But yeah,
We will get everybody together. Hey guys, let's jump up here and do a quick picture.
Presenting this to Bill.
You should be presenting it.
Yeah, everybody on the other side of the net over there.
What?
Here, why don't, I'll Leslie, how about you? How about you? I love it. One without the truck, and then you can come in here. Me? Yeah. Oh, aren't you presenting it? Sure.
But actually, we're giving it to them. They just happen to have the big check.
Is this how you want?
Yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect.
I'm not in here.
Everybody in?
Simone.
Get your hats in.
Are you in? Here. Okay, where's Simone? Well, we're on the other side. Okay, somebody, Cynthia, move over. Okay, is it good? 1, 2, oh, Bill looks great. 1, oops, 1, 2, 3 again. Again, so?
Good? Good?
Thank you. Okay, yes, can I get Leslie to come in and Sammy can take one with my camera. With my camera. And Leslie, you guys still,
Wait, guys, come back.
no, we're still taking us.
Well documented.
Figure it out. Trace takes 4,000 pictures,
on,
whether
Kara.
she needs to or not.
Come on, Leslie. Leslie, get up
Do
here.
it.
Ready?
I didn't move. I knew what was going on.
Awesome. I'm going to get one.
Okay.
And if
For
it's
your
okay,
Facebook, right?
we'd love to put this on our social media.
That
That's
would be
okay with
wonderful.
all of you. Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you guys so
Nice
much.
to meet you.
So wait, so give us a 30-second pitch. I think if most people know what Warm is and what you guys do. But you guys, you know, agreed to have me come in here and, you know, have fun. But you guys, it was all your money that's going to Warm.
Right.
So
Yes.
Every
So
penny.
first of all, thank you all so much. WARM is short for the Westerville Area Resource Ministry. So we're a nonprofit right down the road on Heatherdown Drive. So we support not only food for poverty people, but we also do employment support, client services, which is coaching. So clients can schedule a time to meet with our coaches about anything that they need to support them. We also do spiritual care now. So we have a group of pastors who are on site. So when people come to get their goods or they're in their meeting with client services, they can also request a pastor to pray or just, you know, talk through some things. So this year we're really emphasizing that we are more than food. When you think of WARM, you kind of think of, oh, they're a food resource, nonprofit, but we are really growing in our We to Work program for employment support, and then do spiritual care, obviously. And then I have some pamphlets if you guys want to pass out, just a little bit about WARM. And then we also do a lot of service projects and volunteer opportunities throughout the year. And there's information on there. You guys can sign up online. You can do group projects and But thank you guys so much.
Been around, you guys have how many employees?
I'm gonna say 18.
Oh, 50 years ago, they started in the basement of St. Paul's. So they've been providing services for the Westerville and now even larger community for over 50 years.
They
So,
provide lunches during the summer, and just so much. I know my son worked at Warm one summer with a job coach, and so just a lot of opportunities for a lot of different people again.
And our volunteer staff is huge. It actually, there's more volunteers than like full-time staff. So we're very blessed to have such a giving community, so.
and at the end of the summer, going into the fall, we're going to have a full-fledged warm pickleball tournament, hopefully with hundreds of players.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah,
It was so nice meeting you.
The first step.
David. All right, who, I don't want to pick, who identifies themselves mainly as a pickleball? No, as a banger.
As a banger?
Yeah,
As a what?
banger,
Yeah, not me.
not you.
Not me.
Not only from the restaurant.
Yeah, I love it. Wait, if you think that you are generally a banger, come over on this side. I want to see how many people actually admit to it.
Hitting it really hard.
Yeah,
You are, you do both. You do both.
I don't both.
You're well rounded.
that hard.
Yeah, you're very well rounded. So no.
Okay.
John is in.
Got good for
Steve, get over there.
All right, so this is going to be, your job is to have fun and hit the ball hard. All right, so 2, 2.
Not only from the restaurant. I'm putting myself.
Sean,
Sean's lagging
Sean, are you in the middle?
All right.
Natalie's a banger. Get over there.
I know for sure. That's fine.
All right,
It's not the first time.
picture time is next.
Okay, sorry.
Line down the line.
Okay.
My dingers.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'll jump off. You guys go ahead. Your paddle. You guys. I don't even know where I put mine. You set it right in your bag, babe. Oh, well, that's weird. We're an old married couple some days, right? I mean old. I mean young married. Okay, you guys start first.
So, here's what I want to have happen. Actually, Simone, come over here just for a second.
We don't have people.
Actually, no, where's Carol? Here's what. All right, only because, hold on a second. Here's what I want to have happen. Just for a second, you're stop about right there. All right. I only brought Carol in simply because I know that her serve is literally just a nice smooth shot. I want you to start I want the side over here to start this by just hitting the ball to one or the other of these two people back here. Okay? So it starts on that side. It'll actually start on this side. She's going to hit the ball to me, then I'm going to hit it as hard as I possibly can back at her. All right? You guys are going to, on the dinker side, you're going to be on the line. All right? And all I want you to do is decide if you're going to hit it or not. I don't care where you put it. I would rather you put it right in the middle. But just decide whether you're going to hit it or not. So she's going to hit the ball to me. I'm technically on the banker side, right? Just do a drop and hit it to me. Like, I know that you know how to do that, but you've done it 12,000 times. All right? That's what I want to have happen. I want the bangers to start at the red line, hit it to the banger side, and then step up.
The bangers are on that side.
The dinkers are going to hit it. They're going to start the point. All right, the bangers are going to hit it hard as they can. When it comes back, I simply want you to decide whether you're going to hit it or not. I don't care where you put it. The point ends whether you hit it or you don't, right there. All right? I would like for you to mentally, for a couple of seconds, let it go. All right? If you're up here, the rule of thumb is if it's below your waist, you need to hit it. If it's above your waist, I would let it go. Okay? That's what I'd like. Only below the waist hit, above the waist, let it go, and let's see where it happens. That makes sense? So back up, cue ball. So, I'm gonna get out of your way. All right, so I'm gonna sit, Carol.
Get the ball up. They're supposed to be, you're supposed to be out closer, I think.
The ball's up, so technically over there. I want to keep doing that for about 7 minutes. All right?
We rotate every somebody new.
No, I want, right now, I want for the next 7 minutes, I want you guys to be the dingers. Let them bang it out. Just the two of you. Yeah, just two of you. Let's in or out? All right.
Jim, I got a ball, but are we doing one or two? I was three. Are we doing 2 balls at the same time?
That's what I was doing.
What, just one ball?
Oh.
Okay, all right, so now it's coming to you.
Okay.
Okay, here's the ball,
Sorry.
Carol.
I'll get it.
Just stop and do it again.
Okay.
Oh, you're coming, that's right. So that's why I was like, yeah, so let's figure it out.
So there's supposed to be deciding if what is it?
You got this thing about setting someone, you have to slam the ball at.
Yeah. So are these supposed to be doing it so deep that we're unsure, or our return is supposed to be unsure?
I tried to put it in my phone, but not.
That was fast.
Start from the red, Gary.
Carol?
Jim? I'm sorry.
You guys haven't hit one word, let it go yet.
Yeah, that's what I was confused. I guess that's just one.
For sure, it's, I think it's just the.
That was a close way to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll wait. And this is over.
There we go.
Yay!
Yay.
Watch your feet, yeah.
Yeah. I felt like I was feeling you.
Yeah, especially when it's right there. That's when you start to shot.
I did.
Okay. Up.
Good.
Nope.
Woo, Natalie.
It was up here.
And I don't think you can say waist, but category. To me, it's shoulder and what's the trajectory of the ball?
Yeah.
Is the ball going up or is it coming down?
Yeah. Get an eye for it.
That one wasn't going that far.
That one I couldn't get out of the way of.
Lastly, I don't know.
If it looks empty,
Just
let
do
it
it.
go.
Just
Second thought. Yeah.
Good.
Good, Natalie.
Up here. And the thing I'll say about these two is that is their game. So if I get to the point where I realize, wait a second, both of them they're excellent players. They've got that gear downstroke. They're putting the top spin on the ball. You know, instead of here, I'm letting it go. You know, maybe I'm starting to move up to here because that is really the two of you. If you start getting this ball here, you still have control. Oh, I know in the game I would hit that.
What's the name of that restaurant we went to last time?
I would hit that.
Yogis?
back, keep back. Hang on just a second. In your mind, you should be keeping track of how many unforced errors you are making. How many times you hit that ball in the net? How many times you hit the ball out?
No, and I'm
All right? If I've got an opponent that's hitting every ball that I hit, I'm going to hit a little harder, knowing that those balls may be out if they don't hit them. It's much harder to control, that really hard ball if I've learned my opponent is going to try to hit every one. If they start letting them go, then I've got to soften myself up. And I have to be cognizant of, am I making mistakes? Is my game on today? It's harder for a banger who's off to adjust.
Yes.
Because we just want to hit it harder. It's going to come in eventually. And if you guys keep feeding me, if I'm hitting hard as I want and this ball will be 10 feet out and you're still trying to hit them, guess what? You didn't do anything to change me. You've got to be able to control that person to make them adjust to that ball. All right?
All right, Carol.
Come in. Sort of. I wouldn't bang on that. That either. I'm not gonna bang on that. That was pretty. Chip, that's a little different. If you don't care, I'm just gonna try to drop it. Come in, Chip. Do you want this?
You got a ball?
Yep. Great. Nice. Good eye. You got one. Watch your feet.
That ball hit that chair. That's think about the end of
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry.
Wait, do a sneaky one.
Here we go.
I didn't try to know if you were staying on the line. 3 weeks ago.
Oh, pretty.
Well inside our nose.
Get banged.
Thank you, Leslie. Oh, Carol.
Remember that game.
Did somebody want to switch with me? Dawn or Leslie, did you want to switch?
Karen, like, we'll just stand here. We'll just stand here all day.
Okay.
Actually, can I come on that side?
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Come in.
Hey, good play.
So, hey, so if I was the two of you and I was a player right now, I hit every ball I wanted as hard as I possibly could. Right?
You finally got one out for
I just hit it to her. Because she's already showed me, right? She's going to hit the ball wherever it's at.
sorry, Natalie.
More than 50%, all of them, it just is, especially if you're jumping to lose points. And there's nothing wrong with being athletic. Just use it to your advantage.
That was good.
This is
I
all
didn't know.
Nice.
Okay, ready?
I got it.
Okay, come in.
All right, hold on. We're going to switch some other people out. If you aren't out, come in. And for my dinking side, if you notice that when you were already at the line, even though you knew they were going to hit it as hard as you possibly could, you had very little problems hitting that ball coming back. Now, the exercise before this, when we were back here and had to get to the line, it was a lot more difficult, wasn't it? But when you were already here, all you were doing is being a rebounder.
Held our ground.
You were here, and you knew it was coming, and you just put it back in play. You know, this really is not a shot, at this point, it's not a shot that you're hitting. You just want to put it back in play as soft as possible to take that game away from you. And there wasn't a single person on this line that backed up, even though they were told to hit it as hard as possible. So your mental state was, I'm at the line, they're going to hit it hard, I don't care, I'm just going to put it back. 20 minutes ago,
It was so different the way Jim hit it and Mike. One of them was like different times deep, and then one was so short and like bouncy, I wouldn't have wheeled on that. So I think for me, I could have mixed that up on somebody too.
all right? So if you were not the banger, and if you were out, I want you to jump on the dinking side,
That's some things.
okay?
If you're out, get on.
So you need to
Yeah, come into the dinking side if you haven't been in.
Oh, okay, so I'll be okay. No, I've just got a few, that's fine.
Let me bang some. Let me try banging
So you need a ball though
Does she
too.
have to feed the ball from here? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, anywhere there, as long as you, I don't want to try to beat them. You're not trying to beat them with the serve. You're just trying to put the spot where they can't hit the ball.
And then move up.
And move up to the line.
So we're only working with one ball. I got one here.
One at a time.
One at a time.
Yeah, do just one, just one.
Oh, okay. It's okay to get low.
That's what I'm saying, it's different. Come in.
I can't throw with the last thing.
Give me good practice on letting them go.
Okay, yeah, well, I was like, yeah, I want to.
No wonder. How do you keep hitting?
Same way.
I know, you guys, I can get both. I know, it's very confusing. We're doing final.
I think that we feed to you.
Yes, both of us, yes.
There you go.
Oh, I should have hit that.
And then you stop.
Yeah.
Okay. The ball.
Sorry, I was
Let's go higher one.
Go ahead.
You would have went like this. You let 25 more. This is not your shot. You have a great shot.
Cindy,
That's out. Got it.
Here you go.
Okay, now try again, okay? Okay, yeah. Okay, ready? Oh, God, I'm supposed to hit it.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to hit everyone. I don't care if it's green. power shot and see what they do with that, because it's going to drop right off the rack.
Natalie, you should come in here. I don't know.
I can't do it on that one.
Very nice.
Neither was that one.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I did it too deep for you. That's all. That's all.
This is practice after planning theory. This is your practice.
Got it? Okay, we need to know by Joe. Okay. I can't remember the correct. Ooh, that's swirly whirly. Got it.
Hang on.
Second one, Alan.
Oh, did you say stop?
No, I just didn't know the ball.
Oh, okay.
Well, they serve.
All right, pause just for a second. Pause for a second. Switch. This side, go back. Go back. All right. The return, that banger return, switch, you guys are now the bangers. The return generally is not a swing, it's just a block. So if you're in control, and you know you are, again, there is a comfort level to know that you're here and your opponent's there, because from right here, you know, especially for me as a tall person, I can see into the kitchen. I have room to see where I'm hitting the ball, and that makes a big difference. So if I'm here and my opponents are all the way back there, I'm super confident that I can put the ball in play. She hits it as hard as she possibly can, or any type of hard drive. My job is not to put the next one away, unless it really is a soft one right here. Yeah, I'm putting that away. But if it's a low drive, my job is to soften my grip and let that paddle do its job. These are not tennis paddles. All right? They do not come off of it hard. If you let that ball soften a little bit, really, truly, you can take that hardest shot and put it somewhere inside this kitchen. And it is very hard for someone swinging that hard to do that shot and still come forward.
Right.
All right? And again, until you can stop them from doing that, and get them where you want them, you're not in control of the point. But if she hits that ball to me and I just cut it, she's going to run to get to it. And most of the time, that running shot that you can't get to is not a controlled shot. I'd say 80% of the time it's a shot that you hit so hard that it's going to go out anyway. All right? So try to soften it, especially for my bangers who want to swing. Just let it hit your paddle. Just let it hit your paddle and try to put it on the kitchen.
You guys need to be involved in this.
Right now.
Oh, okay. But we beat it?
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry, never mind, it's one
Yeah.
ball.
You step back, raise knife.
Step into your serve, and step up the line. Step to your serve and step up.
Yeah.
Give me more power. Give me more power. See how it goes.
Okay.
That was there. Thank you. That was in.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get you.
That's good, I'll get a couple loaded up, all right.
I think I have more power here. Oh.
You good with those?
It may have dropped in. I got programmed.
Ooh, I'll try to. Nice, that was good, Jim.
I'm just trying to make sure I get it over to them. Well, yeah, because I'm going to let them know.
I gotta get the touchdown there.
Here, let me give you one.
Ah!
That's what I was doing in that shot in that way.
Really good.
Just right there.
And if it's going out, we're gonna let it out.
Now, I wanna try to get it.
Oh.
But we're supposed to.
No, I'm saying if it's going out, it's more than what you need. So
Not
you had to go over. Yeah.
And
Nobody was
now let me show you guys. Hey guys, stop this for a second. Stop for a second. All right, I'm going to add this to the power side.
No, it's okay, I know, you can do
All
it.
right?
Mike.
I'm going to hit my power shot, but as soon as I hit it,
coming out.
I'm immediately going to try to get at least to the red one. Okay? All right? My partner is going to be on the green one. So one of you move up. Left side move up. All right? I'm going to hit it. I want the ding side to try to return it. I want you to cheat. I want you guys right on the tee. If you can get it to the next ball, take it. All right?
I'm going to you. We did no matter what.
His first shot, and she's there for it.
But should we try, if we put it out, like, or like that was fine, and so we change that. Okay. I just did. You can keep it down.
Yeah, you can bring it down.
Okay, so now you're serving to her.
Hang on.
Oh, here.
There.
No, I
And
won't.
I'm on the tee.
You were.
You're serving to
That
her.
ball hung. You would have stepped over and just put it away.
Alright. Okay.
So don't be afraid to step over and take it out of the way.
Jim, okay, I'm on the back.
Once we all get up here,
Now then go back and start doing it again.
you do it again.
That ball's out. Second ball.
Yeah.
Wait. You gotta be out of the way.
You're serving. Oh, you got three.
When you got there, then it was a top spin. Get out of my camera.
After you do a couple on the one side,
Yeah.
second side switch, the other one come up to the front. Oh, well.
Hey, I want my partner to call. Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
I got
She
it.
hits that hard Well, yeah, come on back over because this second ball is one you can't. Yeah.
Good job.
You know, at one point I had a phone.
And then you guys get to switch.
Janelle!
You guys are not getting that to the line. Let's do it two lines.
We are just supposed to bang it.
Yeah, you're banging.
You're not doing it.
It doesn't matter. Either way is fine.
Now, we supposed to stay here, and if you serve,
I could talk that.
I'm gonna serve to you.
Two out.
Yeah, you want to take the,
Oh, that was out.
like that.
I was in right there.
All right, also, here's what we're gonna do. Two things. Next Friday at 9, we're gonna have a tournament. With just this group. Everybody, yeah, the people, there are one or two that were here the first week that aren't happening here, just scheduling
If
things.
they donate,
We're gonna do a tournament. I need you to either post or email to me or Therese, folks that are already intending to be partners. And then if we don't have that, then I will kind of assign what I think would be good pairings. There's,
it's not mixed, it's not women's stuff.
no, it's just, yeah, we have a pickleball player. It's amazing how quickly this went and how much more I wanted to get. If the number one thing that I can get to you guys is being able to add what you already do and start thinking about playing the entire court, that's the number one thing. You know, if I did this every Friday for the next 3 months, I would want to get you to where you could get into a thinking battle. Because that is where getting a point and winning a point actually starts. You know, it generally ends with a hard ball. But if you see the 5-0 players and the pro players, they get to this point most of the time before a point is scored. At the level that generally we're at, the point is scored by someone making a mistake. And if you could mentally start thinking about not keeping track of the rest of the score, but how many times I lost a point because I made a mistake and make that adjustment, you're going to see within this group better games. And you're going to see your own game start to get better. What I'd like to do, we're going to have another 15 or 20 minutes. I'd like to play games to set up. The folks that are normally together, Don and Natalie, Simone and Leslie, Mike and Carol, stay with those people. John, Janelle. I mean, we pretty much got a good group. Let's start with, I know this is a silly thing to do. If you have an even birthday, raise your hand. Day. All right. All right. So these 14, these teams first. All right. These teams first. Play to 7, then the next couple, the next one come up.
You guys are in.
All right?
Mine.
If you win your game, you stay in.
Okay.
All right? I am going to ask you to be uncomfortable and try to do something that you don't normally do, but I do want you to win the points. Try to do something that we worked on during these last couple of weeks.
Regular score.
Regular score.
It's 7.
To 7.
Lisa, can you throw them a ball?
Oh, I got a ball.
No, that's okay, I got one. Wait a minute. Can we use this ball? It's okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Got it?
Oh, good try.
Who's served?
Traditional fence.
Jump in your head. No, but
How do you change them a little bit?
yeah, no, it's
How's your shoulder?
I did something. I didn't know. This has to go
Yeah, you've broken something inside.
But
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I'm like, oh, that's when I contacted you.
George.
Not yet, I haven't. Still March 15th. March 15th. That's been the date. And he said if he has an opening, I can get in early. I go next week and have them do the CT scan. And they'll do, they do the makeover where they actually do it, 3D print when you know what it is, and then do the surgery, practice, and then when they do it, it's already been done. It's unbelievable. And when it's done, like this, my leg, you can see my toe is dead straight from my knee. And nobody's there. I mean, I was always ruled out. When they do it, they actually put you back dead in line. And you have to come home and just walk around. But he says that once it's done, then you're not one way or the other. What's happening right now is I'm favoring this knee so much, this one's starting to hurt. And it's
So it's after it's over. It wasn't
Just feeling well.
that's a good question. Can we ask you a question real quick?
no questions. Go ahead.
I just hit a nice soft shot right here. She said, my feet seem to go like this after the ball.
That was me, I just let it go.
You cannot, if you hit the ball, you cannot until the ball hits. So if it hit once, right, and technically catches the point. If it bounces once, and your momentum goes into the kitchen, it's their point. If I hit this ball, and I do this, no matter what happens, if I fall in the kitchen, it can roll. You'll never
So
know.
I didn't do it like that.
But if I get it, yeah, if I hit an overhead, my overhead.
It wasn't that either. It was a little bit stiff here, and he didn't quite get to it, and it was dead when I was going.
Yeah, you're still.
If you were set, and like, okay, and then you step over here, that's different.
Oh, yeah.
Your momentum holds over the kitchen.
I was going to take it in the air, but... 2, 1, 2. Got it? Well, I didn't realize she fell in the kitchen. I wondered what the discussion was. But yeah, I've had that call from me, so I know. That's one of those things, right? 3-1-2. Only that I got it over the net. 4-1-2. Got it? Got it? 4-1. Oh, Mike, you're so slow, I missed it. Good job. 6-3-1. I was so far ahead of it. You would hit it hard, I would hit a winner.
6-3-2. 4-1.
Yours. No. He's in the kitchen. That's not even close. Good get.
That's what you guys are going to decide. I'm going to take that away from them. 3-4-1.
Yours?
On the red line?
Time to get up. Ah, Mike!
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, this is why
Two left.
yeah, bà con mà here, I don't know.